Very interesting that I recently did a video talking about a PC girl who got into a fight with another black girl, with two black girls, and in that fight she called them the N-word, and they went back and pretty much dragged her, like literally dragged her. And I brought up Kaylee Gain. And then I saw, people in the comment section bring up Kaylee Gain asking me, was there any update on it? And then I was like, no, I don't see any updates as it pertains to that. And then all of a sudden, this update literally falls into my lap. Literally, I'm recording this video on May 15th and it fell into my, it came out on May 13th, 2 days ago, from the Atlanta Black Star, where it says Kaylee Gain's family backtracks, admits she made a terrible choice in viral fight that left her with a fractured skull as juvenile officer confirms black teen acted in self-defense. When I went over this in a live stream when this first happened back in March, we been called that. We said and looked and broke down everything possible at the time that was available to us that this girl, Kaylee Gain, was a straight up troublemaker. She's not the angel that, or the delicate flower that they tried to make her out to be, but because of the optics of it, with her being a white girl, and Maurnice Daclue, who y'all see on y'all screen, for some of you this may be y'all first time seeing her picture, is a black girl, and then on top of that she's a dark-skinned black girl, so you already know they already framed it another way. Like, I've seen people even go as far as, and I talked about this in that live stream, where they were trying to say, well, because of her skin tone and because she was a slightly bigger girl, that means she had a certain level of testosterone in her, basically trying to imply that she was more masculine than feminine and all types of stuff like that. I got a question for all of those individuals, and they know exactly who they are, who had something to say about Maurnice Daclue at the time. What do y'all have to say about this new revelation? My guess is probably absolutely nothing. Even when it came out that Maurnice was a straight A student, she had good grades and all of that good stuff, and mentioning all her accolades, much like in the vein that they like to do when it comes to PC individuals. When they commit these levels of crimes, they start to run down their resume to try to absolve them from the wrongdoings that they commit. They did not give her that same grace. I'm not even surprised. They even went as so far as when Kaylee had raised like $420,000 in a GoFundMe, they ended up, let me not get ahead of myself. When Maurnice Daclue family had started up a GoFundMe, they shut it down instantly. They shut it down. So, and the thing is, when I went to go look at it to see if I can contribute anything, I couldn't, because it said, oh, this GoFundMe doesn't exist. So I don't even know how much money Maurnice even made. And this was, of course, to pay for lawyer fees and attorney fees, to take the weight off of her parents. But they shut it down. But they let Kaylee Gain stay up, and she raised over almost $500,000 within a few days. So again, they took a fight that was going on between these two girls and they made it a racial thing. But these are the same people that love to say we make everything about race. That's why whenever they say that, I already know what kind of mindset that they have. Now, to go further a little bit more into the actual story, it says that the testimony came as attorneys tried to persuade a judge to release the 15-year-old, they're talking about Maurnice, to her family from a juvenile facility where she's been at since the fight happened. That's where she's been at since March. They were trying to get her released to be home and probably, most likely wearing a monitor device. And even with all of the stuff that came out, even with Kaylee Gain's family saying what they said about everything, they still decided to keep Maurnice locked up in that juvenile facility. Even with all the evidence and everything that they had, they still kept her in there. Why? Because they tried to claim she's still violent and that she's just a danger to outside society because of the video. That's it. Even though Kaylee Gain's family even came out and said what they said. Like, practically, it was another article that came up like a month ago from Atlanta Black Star, where it said Kaylee Gain's parents says it doesn't matter. The text revealed that both teams agreed to meet to fight. So this wasn't a one-sided thing. It's not like Maurnice went to her to go and, beat her. And even then, her parents were still trying to say that she should be charged as an adult. I saw so many of those comments. They kept trying to say that Maurnice needs to be charged as an adult. Mind you, she's only 15. But they wanted her to be charged as an adult so bad. They said multiple teachers also testified about Maurnice's academic success and good behavior in court on Friday. They also went on to say that the 15-year-old skipped the 7th grade and was on the honor roll, according to those who took the stand. So even like, again, when they're running down this girl's resume, it was still not enough. They said Gain was not even supposed to be near the school grounds that day and returned to the area to settle a quote-unquote score that stemmed from the previous fight with one of Maurnice's friends. And I'm guessing that was a video that went out maybe the day before or something like that, because it says that Kaylee Gain has a history of being with some girls or a crew and going around just jumping girls. And I think one of the girls was Maurnice's friends, and well, she got the best of her that day. And if y'all look at the video, you saw that one of the girls that was there who tried to get in on that was trying to jump Maurnice, but another person there had to pull that girl off of her to keep her from doing that. They said members of Kaylee's family seemed to backtrack an impact statement to the court, and they said, while our daughter will in all likelihood need lifelong medical care and therapy to overcome the injuries and trauma that were inflicted on her, we pray that the juvenile shows remorse and takes accountability for her actions. Wait a minute. Time out. So y'all know what y'all daughter is capable of, but you still want the girl who did what she felt she had to do to take accountability for and apologize, so to speak, for what she did, even though your daughter was the one that kicked it off. Do y'all hear her parents? Those are Kaylee Gain's parents. The nerve of them. I hope that Maurnice and her family don't issue not one goddamn apology to her or her family. Hold on to that. Then they said accountability for her actions set so that no one else's lives are irreversibly changed in the future. So what are you trying to say? That Maurnice is going to go and do this to someone in the future just because she feels like she can? See, that's the dog whistle language right there, coming from the stepmother. That's Kaylee Gain's stepmother, not even her real mother, her stepmother, who, by the way, I think was the woman that was that grown woman that was there, because again, how else did Kaylee get up there? She had to have been brought up there. That's why I said they need to look into that family of hers. They said a terrible choice was made by two teenage girls to solve their issues through violence. This caused one of them to go too far with their bare hands in a concrete road. So again, they're still throwing this all onto Maurnice as if she was the main or the sole antagonist with this whole situation. But see, even with them putting out there what Kaylee Gain did and what she was capable of, they still have to make her out to be the victim at all costs and make Maurnice be the antagonizer and the victim all at the same time. Now, what I found to also be very interesting is even with all of this, like again, how they turned it racial was at the end of this article when it says that the school officials have also received derogatory messages because they didn't agree with how the school took care of it. They said employees answering the phones are being called the N-word or N-lover. According to a complaint, bomb threats have been made to individual employees at the schools, employees and at schools, to which law enforcement have had to respond. It got that far, to the point where they were calling them slurs and bomb threats were made. That's how far it went. That's how far, you know what? That's how far the usual suspects took it. And I can just about guess, if we had to guess on demographic alone, who were the targets of these. Now, when they say N-lover, we already know those was other white people. But when it came to the other people, when the N-word, we know that was directed towards black people. And again, they keep trying to say we live in a quote-unquote post-racial society. They lied. If you needed any proof that that was not the case, look no further than this story right here. A fight that happened between two girls, for whatever reason it was, they blew up and they turned it into a racial thing because the black girl beat the white girl's ass. That is it. That is all. I said that back in March when I first talked about this story, and I'm saying it again right here. That is exactly what they turned it into. And that anti-black think tank known as X, formerly known as Twitter, were the main pushers of that narrative.